We are grateful for the many things for which we have been blessed with. We pray at this time and invite thy Spirit of the Lord to be with us and with all those who are in attendance at this event. We pray for blessings upon President Trump and Senator Vance as they fight for life, liberty, and the pursuits of happiness, and for this country, which indisputably is under attack from those who seek to reverse the course of this country as one nation under God. We pray for the safety of those who defend this country and the streets of our city from those who would seek to do us harm. We pray for the volunteers and those that are working so hard this election cycle, that they may be protected and energized as they continue their efforts. We pray for those whose hearts need to be softened so they can hear and receive thy message and be encouraged to act to defend those eternal principles upon which this country was founded, and that they may be moved upon to vote for what is right. These things we pray for, and for any other blessings that thou in thy infinite wisdom deem necessary for the preservation of our country, and we do so in the name of our Savior and Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Trump Force 47 Captain Blanca Fox to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Trump Force 47 team to sing our national anthem.
Off your hats, put it over your heart as we sing this national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome to the stage, Denora.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's amazing, standing room only. I love this, amazing. So, to get us going, we're gonna start with a 10 times USA, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. USA, USA. USA. There we go. Yes. Okay, so today, a little different from my usual. I usually talk about the American dream. Today, I'm going to talk about voting, and I'm going to go to the strings of your hearts about voting for a second. I'm going to tell you the story about my dad and what he had to do to vote, and why I think all of you, vote and get everybody that you can to go vote with you. Okay, so I was born in Beirut, Lebanon. There was an election in 1972, and my father took us to vote. So everybody dressed up, my 3 sisters, my mom, and me, and we drove. In order to vote in Lebanon, you have to go to the village that you're from. We lived in the city, but to go through the village, we had to go through a PLO camp back then. And, we drove by, they stop us. And right when we get to the checkpoint, my sister tells my mom, Mom, hide your cross. Because, we were Christians and PLO is not. So they get in, they take my dad out of the car, and they search him. Total humiliation in front of his own family. At any second, some trigger-happy person could do something, and you've got 3 kids in the car and a mom and a dad. Anyway, we got up to the mountain, we voted. It was a very important election, actually. It felt a lot like the election we have right now. This was 72. We can go in 2 different directions. We can become a PLO kind of a land and part of this, or we could keep the Lebanese identity. Came back, same exact thing. And then I'm always worried about this crazy one person at a checkpoint. They exist. And then if they decide they're going to do something bad, the whole family's dead. So I went home that night, and I told my dad, why do you do this? Why do you put us through this and you put yourself through this? And my dad said, because what we think matters. Because what I want to do matters. Because we need to be heard, all of us. We all need to be heard. So today, I know you hear all the time, go vote, take 10 people to vote. Today, I implore you to vote for my dad and the millions of people all over the world who take their hands in their lives to take a vote. All right? So, on this note, we're going to end how we started. We're going to say 10 times USA, all right? Ready? 1, 2, 3. USA, 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 USA. Thank you. I went to public schools, but I still got 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony.
Where it began.
Well, good morning, all you patriotic Nevadans. My name is Stavros Anthony. I am honored to be your Nevada Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today to welcome the next Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, to the great state of Nevada. And I really want to thank President Trump and Senator Vance for all the time that they have spent in Nevada during this last year. They've given a lot of love to this state, and I think we're going to love them back, absolutely. And, they've been out here, they've been talking about what they believe in, what their message is, and their message is what we believe in here in the state of Nevada. And some of those, they're going to close the border. We Nevadans want the border closed. They're going to deport illegal aliens. We want to deport illegal aliens here in Nevada. We want to go back to the days of low inflation. That's what President Trump and J.D. Vance are going to give us. We want, as Nevadans, lower gas prices, and they're going to drill, baby, drill, man, and bring those prices back down. And what are they going to do for us? No taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on overtime. And I know one thing that's really important here in the state of Nevada are housing prices. Kamala Harris has driven the price of housing, excuse the pun, but through the roof. They've increased interest rates, they've increased the amount of money it takes to build a house, and Trump and Vance are going to fix that. It's broken, and they're going to fix it. And as many of you know, I'm a 29-year veteran of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm very, very proud of my time with law enforcement. And who loves our men and women in uniform here that protect our community, huh? That's right. You're not going to hear that at a Kamala Harris Waltz rally. They hate the police. They want to defund the police. They raise money to bail out criminals. You remember a few years back when Antifa was burning down Minneapolis and some local communities in Minnesota, and that weirdo Walz did absolutely nothing. Precincts were burning down, police precincts, and he did nothing. They asked for the National Guard. He did nothing. He allowed his cities to burn, and that is a catastrophe. We cannot have those two in the White House because criminals are the ones that they're going to protect. And what is their message to us here in Nevada? They call us names. And what's the latest one? That's exactly right. They think that you teachers out there are garbage. They think you police officers out there are garbage. They think you casino workers out there are garbage. They think that you stay-at-home moms are garbage. That's what they think about us. And that is the Democrat Party. That is the swamp. That is the Washington, D.C. elite. That's what they think of us. And we're going to kick their ass here pretty soon. Absolutely. We're going to kick their ass. And just one other shout out. The Democrat Party loves having men and women's sports. And we have a very courageous female volleyball team up at UNR that has stood up to that garbage. And when Trump and Vance are elected, men are going to get kicked out of women's sports. Absolutely. So I'll tell you, I just saw the numbers of early voting. You patriots are kicking butt, man, at the ballot box. You are kicking butt at the ballot box. And I'm very proud of what we're doing in this state. But we're not done yet. It's not done yet. Tuesday's coming up, the final day of voting. So if you voted early, thank you. Thank you very much. If you waited till election day, fine. Make sure you show up. Don't let anybody get in your way to vote on Tuesday. And most importantly, we have 3 days to find out who hasn't voted and drag them to the voting booth. We got to get them there Tuesday. I know you're going to do your part, but call your friends and ask them to take somebody to the voting booth on Tuesday. We need to make this too big to rig here in the state of Nevada. So thank you, all of you, and I'm looking forward to waking up Wednesday and seeing President Trump and J.D. Vance running this country again. God bless all of you. Thank you. I just want to give a shout out to our next senator, right over here, Sam Brown. Our next senator of the state of Nevada, Sam Brown. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Chairman of the Republican Party of Nevada, Michael McDonald.
Put my hands up to play my song, the butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah, moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up to play my song, you know I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA.
That's not AC/DC. One more time, right? Before we get, I just want to take a quick moment. I want to thank, this has been a long journey. I want to thank our chairman, Jesse Law, Clark County chairman. I want to thank our vice chairman, Devin Livesey. And our entire executive board and board members of Clark County. This has been the battleground. Give them a round of applause, please. When you think about where we stand, 2 years ago, we started this. 2 years ago. I came to so many of you and said, listen, we need to put Donald Trump back in the White House. We're reassembling the band. Many of you remember that, right? I said it's going to be a battle. Odds are against us. Odds are against us because of the lies and what they've done to Donald Trump. And the media just kept stockpiling and stockpiling and stockpiling. Then they came after our leadership here in the state. They dogpiled us, beat us, drug us through the mud. Because of each and every one of you, we kept that going. We kept that moving. Well, here we are today. Many of you believed. Through God, through our belief, we kept it on the rails. This time we've taken it to another level. We had to bring in the attorneys. Brian Hardy, who said the prayer today, he's also the attorney for the state party since we took over in 2012. Give him a round of applause. Because like many of you, the will to win has been strong. And I'm not the nicest guy when it comes to will to win. We win at all costs, and Brian Hardy, I can tell you that. You're a great man, and I thank you for being by our side, brother. It's been a hell of a ride. Now, the reason I say these things, and I thank all of you, is because what it took to get here. The other side kept talking, putting us down, calling us names. Kamala Harris, your VP, Mr. Jazz Hands. I got news for you, lady. We've been called worse by better. That's what the Nevada Republican Party brings. That's what all of you bring. Ignore the noise, finish the mission, and that's what you've all done. It is far from over. We are on the edge. We have shocked the nation on the numbers that you've turned out. And still the pundits from the Democratic Party, their mouthpieces. Ignore them. Election day, you turn out. For those of you that have voted, I'm asking you, please, take that day off, volunteer. We need to have eyes in every nook and cranny around these voting and polling locations to know exactly, we're going to make sure that there is transparency. I need you to obey the law. But you got a beautiful thing called a cell phone. That cell phone, I want you to film everything within reason, in the law, and get it back to our attorneys. If you see something, you say something. It even happened last night. Our illustrious leader, Alita, was out there at polling locations with several of you, and they were pushing back on us. The polls kind of stayed open a little bit longer than they were supposed to. But because we have the attorneys online, and because all of you were the eyes and ears, we got called, we pushed right back. And that's going to be our power. Your voice is the power. You have to show us if there's any irregularities. Now listen, be civil, but obey the law, but don't take no shit. And I apologize for talking like that to our ladies early on, especially in the morning. We have some very special guests here. And we've all held back a lot of resentment of what we've been through. You look at the great J.D. Vance, which we have right now, and I say he's great because he's one of us. He is a working class man that has suffered like all of us. He has been through the working class rigor. He picked himself up, and he's shown what happens when you believe in America and you believe in yourself and you put God with you. Look where you end up. The next vice president of the United States, that's where you end up. I'll tell you in closing, they beat President Trump. I've been with him since 2015. I've seen his family. I've seen how his family reacts. I would not put my worst enemy through what he's been through. The lies, trying to ruin him, trying to put him in jail, trying to ruin his family, trying to ruin his family's fortune, the kingdom they built. But you know the funniest thing is? This went back to 2016, 2015, when we said he's a working class billionaire. And no one understood it. A blue collar billionaire. He is. He represents everything we're putting on the table right now that deal with all of us. The gas prices. He has a plan. Putting money back in our pockets. He has the plan. And when he did it all together, he did it with his family. And this time around, he has to be surrounded by people that are loyal. Not the devils that stabbed him in the back in D.C. last time. But he's going to need all your voices. All of you election night on Tuesday, you need to show up. And you need to show the love that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have shown us here today, out through this entire time. He's been to Nevada, I think, more than anywhere because he loves Nevada. I've told you that time and time again since 2015. Actions speak louder than words. And the biggest thing you can do right now is when our next vice president comes on the stage, you show him the love and the spirit that we've always had. 2 years ago when we put this back together, you give him all that energy. You send him out of here today knowing that we're going to deliver Nevada for the next president of the United States and vice president of the United States, J.D. Vance. God bless you. God bless your family. Let's take this home.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage United States Senator Mike Lee.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same
Hello,
sound.
Las Vegas. Tell me, who is ready to do the Trump jump and the Vance dance and go downtown to help Sam Brown? Are you ready? I think you're ready. You know, look, we're in a tough position, aren't we? Just think about where we were 4 years ago. 4.5 years ago, things were so much better. And they're so much worse now. And, you know, just a few years ago, it reminds me of this study that somebody conducted. They said the average American family, they wanted to find out where in the average American family's budget you can find the difference between making it and not making it, between imminent doom and failure and I'm getting by just fine. You know what they found? They said it comes down to about $300 a month for the average family. $300 a month. Here we are, 3.5, almost 4 years into the administration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You know what they've done to your salary? You have to shell out an additional $972 a month in Nevada. I checked this morning. $972 a month is what the average Nevada family has to spend just to live, compared to January 20th, 2021. That's not okay. That's not okay. And it is that way because they messed with government. They've made it more expensive. Kamala broke it, and Donald Trump will fix it. Look, there are a lot of problems with Kamala Harris. The biggest single one is the fact that she was responsible for this. You know, that bill that they passed called the Inflation Reduction Act, that's the most ironic name ever. You know, Kamala Harris's approach to that bill was to say, yeah, we've got inflation. What are we going to do? Let's throw gasoline on the fire, which is exactly what that bill did. Throwing trillions of dollars we did not have at the problem, which comes right out of your bottom line. Out of the bottom line of poor and middle-class families all over America. You know who cast the tie-breaking vote? Kamala Harris. It would not have passed. And do you know who cast one of the significant votes for that? Your United States Senator, who Sam Brown is going to defeat on Tuesday. Look, Sam Brown, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, they all understand something. They understand that they work for you. The government works for you and not the other way around. They understand that it's their job to protect you from government and not to subject you to whatever government wants to do. Kamala Harris, she's an affront to so much we hold dear. If there are any religious people in the crowd, I offer you this warning. Yeah, me too, me too. I offer you this warning. Talk about Orwellian named bills. Kamala had as the centerpiece of her legislative agenda, when I worked with her in the Senate, a bill called the Do No Harm Act. Now, what do you guess that did? A lot of harm. The Do No Harm Act had as its principal objective gutting the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. So if you, like me, believe that our Constitution was written by wise men raised up by Almighty God to that very purpose, and that it's there to protect, among other things, our religious freedom, which together with our freedom of expression is upstream from every other right that we have, Kamala Harris stands as a clear and present threat to those things. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Sam Brown will defend them. That's why we need to elect them. Kamala broke it. Trump will fix it. Nevada's the answer. Show up and vote, and let's win! Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage United States Senator Steve Daines.
Well, good morning. So I'm U.S. Senator Steve Daines from the great state of Montana. Anybody out there watch the show Yellowstone? Governor Dutton sends his best regards this morning. But I'm really glad to be here. I not only get to represent the state of Montana, but my Republican colleagues in the U.S. Senate elected me to be the chairman of the Republican Senatorial Committee. What that means is we, through my leadership, have the responsibility to make sure that when Donald Trump is elected president, we give him a Republican majority in the U.S. Senate and fire Chuck Schumer. Now, I got to tell you, I dressed up this morning in Montana. This is called going to the prom, okay? But I got dressed up this morning because I want to welcome you all to the Kamala Harris retirement party. Now, in this responsibility I've been given by my colleagues, we're looking at a lot of states right now that we have in play at this moment, all razor-thin races where we can beat Democrat senators and bring back the cavalry to Washington, D.C. to work with President Trump versus against him. Races in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Montana, and here in the Sun Belt, Arizona and Nevada. Now, there's a lot of places I could be this morning. Yesterday I was in Montana with Senator Tom Cotton and Tim Sheehy, who will be the next U.S. Senator from Montana. But today I get to be here with Senator Mike Lee, with Senator J.D. Vance, soon to be Vice President Vance. And my very good friend Donald Trump Jr., who will be here as well this morning. But of all the places I could be this morning, I'm here in Nevada. Why? We are counting on you. We are counting on Nevada to make sure that you elect Donald Trump as president, and Sam Brown is your next U.S. Senator. Senator, stand up, Sam. Yeah. USA. Now, it's a privilege to be here this morning with, we're just the warm-up band here. We realize that. We're the warm-up band in the bar before the stars come, Donald Trump Jr. and your next Vice President, J.D. Vance. But let me tell you something. I've gotten to know J.D. Vance. Senator Mike Lee's gotten to know J.D. Vance. Mike Lee's a great senator, a great leader. It's nice he's a neighbor here in Nevada from the great state of Utah. Mike Lee, thanks for being here, by the way, as well. But I'm the son of a U.S. Marine. My dad enlisted in the Marine Corps at 17 and a half. His mom had to sign the papers so we could get in. Do you know that J.D. Vance will be the first U.S. Marine ever elected as Vice President of the United States? And when President Trump picked J.D. Vance, what a tremendous pick. It says a lot. By the way, maybe all you have to look at is who Kamala Harris picked for her vice president nominee. And who President Trump picked for his nominee, J.D. Vance. And I tell you, I've gotten to know J.D. very well. I remember campaigning for him in Ohio exactly 2 years ago when he had a big Senate race in Ohio. J.D. Vance, we've all seen, of course, you know how smart the guy is. Everybody knows his story of his life, the story of overcoming adversity. We all know he brings incredible intellectual chops to this job, which you need, by the way, to serve this great country. But I tell you what you've seen is J.D.'s been on the trail with his sweet wife, his kids. You've seen this guy's heart. You've seen this guy's heart. I mean, he's vilified. I mean, calling J.D. Vance weird compared to Tim Walz? Give me a break. I mean, Tim Walz is dancing queen. J.D. Vance is a U.S. Marine. But he's great. We're looking forward to serving with him as our next vice president. And then you've got Don Jr. coming as well. So Don and I first met. Of course, how would I first meet Donald Trump Jr.? It was hunting elk in Montana. That's literally how I first met Don. And since then, we've developed this friendship. In fact, I've watched him make some tremendous long-range shots. He's a long-range shooter. I enjoy long-range shooting as well. Incredible sportsman. Guide quality fly fisherman, amazing friend, and you're going to hear from him as well as we close out this campaign. Shortly after I was elected chairman of the NRSC, I flew down to Mar-a-Lago. I met with President Trump. Sat across from his desk there, Mar-a-Lago. I said, Mr. President, this was in January of 23. I said, when you are elected president in November of 24, the most important thing we can give you is a Republican majority in the U.S. Senate. It's really important. And that began the two of us collaborating, working together through all these races. And let me tell you something. You know, Sam Brown had a primary with 12 opponents. Do you know who President Trump endorsed in that primary? Captain Sam Brown. Because the first vote that Captain Sam Brown, soon to be Senator Sam Brown, will take will be on January 20th, because here's what's going to happen. We'll take our oaths of office, the newly elected senators, on January 3rd. On January 20th, President Trump will be sworn into office. We'll be on the west steps of the Capitol. It's a tremendous feel. There'll be 1 million people out there waving American flags, a glorious moment. But right after he's sworn in, the senators will go into the Senate chamber, and we will move through President Trump's nominations for the Secretary of Treasury, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, the Director of the CIA. Let me tell you something. Let me be very, very clear. If Jackie Rosen were elected, she will vote no on every one of those nominees. You can take that out of the bank. You elect Sam Brown, he'll be voting yes with President Trump. Now, there's a lot more we could contrast between Sam Brown and his opponent, but let me just ask a question of this crowd. I can just sense, because I'm a Montana guy, I can sense I'm with my people here in Nevada. How many of you think the Second Amendment is important? Well, count me in, and I'll tell you something. The NRA gave Jackie Rosen an F. An F. That does not stand for fantastic, by the way. Do you know what grade Sam Brown got from the NRA? An A. He'll protect your Second Amendment rights. Well, I want to close by taking a poll. Now, we've been polled to death, haven't we? I don't know about you, my phone, it's ringing, it's texting, they all want to know who you're going to vote for and so forth. So let's just have a little poll this morning, and this is going to be by a show of applause. We've got decibel meters out there to measure this. So here's the simple question. On November 5th, how many of you plan to cast your ballot for Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States? All right. You know what? I think we might win this thing. Let's go make America great again together, and make sure you get out and vote. Thank you very much.
And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere, but they saying Luda's back. Blame it on that contour, the hood call it Luda yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out, y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts, accountants count me in. Make millions every year, the South's champion. Cause all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they low low. Head on a swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Tell Cali, back it up, my niggas call me loco. Down for armed trafficking, don't make me pull that fofo. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, bitch, you better get your mug right. We come together holding hands and holler thug life. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light. All it's do is win. You riding to what? Cause we riding tonight. Now you riding with me cause you wasn't riding.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Heat in the kitchen, pot on the stove, water getting boiled, dope being sold, Snoopy in the hookie, system overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20 years old. I hung with the worst of them, bust till I burst them up, floss them up, toss them up, harder way, close them up. Pardon me, I'm bossing up, brace you up, bless you, bro, don't mess with us. We like the U in the 80s. Back to back, set a track, hit the lick, get it back, get the trick, jump the track. Bitch, I want my money back. Time and time again, while I'm sipping on this gin. Al Davis said it best, just win, baby, win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. short, my hair was long. Caught somewhere between a boy and man. She was 17 and she was far from in between. It was summertime in northern Michigan. Splashing through the sandbar, talking by the campfire. It's the simple things in life, like when and where. We didn't have no internet, but man, I never will forget the way the moonlight shined upon her hair. And we were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song. Sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Catching walleye from the dock, watching the waves roll off the rocks. She'll forever hold a spot inside my soul. We'd blister in the sun, we couldn't wait for night to come to hit that sand and play some rock and roll. While we were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song. Sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Now nothing seems as strange as when the leaves begin to change. Oh, how we thought those days would never end. Sometimes I hear that song and I'll start to sing along and think, man, I'd love to see that girl again. Man, I'd like to see that girl again. And we were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song. Sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. We were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song. Sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. 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 Singing about Sweet Home Alabama, yeah. Singing was once in your shoes. I said I was down and out with the blues. I felt no man cared if I were alive. I felt the whole world was so tired. That's when someone came up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street. It's a place there called the YMCA. They can start you back on your way. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for your mental enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, are you listening to me? Young man, what do you wanna be? YMCA. You'll find it at the YMCA. No man, young man, does it all by himself. Young man, put your pride on the shelf. YMCA. And just go to the YMCA. Young man, I was once in your shoes. Young man.
Yeah, right, picture that with a Kodak. Or better yet, go to Times Square, take a picture of me with a Kodak. Took my life from negative to positive, I just want y'all to know that. And tonight, let's enjoy life. Pitbull, Naya, Neo, that's right.
I want all of you tonight. Give me everything tonight. For all we know, we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything
Take advantage of the night, cause tomorrow I'm off to do battle, perform for a princess. But tonight, I can make you my queen and make love to you endless. It's insane the way the name growing, money keep flowing. Hustlers moving silent, so I'm tiptoeing. So keep blowing, I got it locked up like Lindsay Lohan. Put it on my life, baby. I'll make it feel right, baby. Can't promise tomorrow, but I promise tonight. Excuse me, and I might drink a little more than I should tonight. And I might take you home with me if I could tonight. And baby, I'ma make you feel so good tonight. Cause we might not get tomorrow.
tonight. I want all of you tonight. Give me everything tonight. For all we know, we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything.
Reach for the stars, and if you don't grab them, at least you fall on top of the world. Think about it, cause if you slip, I'm gonna fall on top of your girl. What I'm involved with is deeper than the Masons, baby, and it ain't no secret. My family's from Cuba, but I'm an American. I don't get money like secrets. Put it on my life, baby. I make it feel right, baby. Can't promise tomorrow, but I promise tonight, darling. Excuse me, and I might drink a little more than I should tonight. And I might take you home with me if I could tonight. And baby, I'ma make you feel so good tonight. Cause we might not get tomorrow.
Tonight, I want all of
be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
'Cause you burn with the cross flame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
'Cause you burn with the cross flame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion.
The walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
'Cause you burn with the cross flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be the greatest, you can be the best.
You can be the King Kong hanging on your chest.
You can be a girl, you can be the war. You can talk a child, banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I let you love what I thought it was funny. You came along and woo, now honey, I've changed my mind. This love is fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kisses, baby. Feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, I want to love you like I love you should. You're fine, so kind. Got to tell this world that you're mine. I chew my nails down and I twiddle my thumb. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby. It drives me crazy. It's just great balls of fire. Hold me, baby. Well, I want to love you like I love you should. You're fine, so kind. Got to tell this world that you're mine. That you're my nail and I twiddle my thumb. Real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. It's great balls of fire.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. And
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the next Vice President and Second Lady of the United States, Senator J.D. Vance and Usha Vance.
Why don't we liberate these United States? We're the ones who need it worst. Let the rest of the world help us for change, and let's rebuild America first. Our highways and bridges are falling apart. Who's blessed and who has been cursed?
Wow. Thank you all. Thank you. It's so good to be here. I think we're at the point where we can say in only 3 days, Las Vegas and the whole state are going to make Donald J. Trump the next president of the United States. Now, we have some very special guests here, and of course, you guys are blessed not just to have a great guy at the top of the ticket and Donald J. Trump, but you're also blessed to have a great senator from the state of Nevada, Sam Brown. Thank you, Sam, for running, for doing this. We love you, man. I should say Sam will be a senator because unfortunately you guys have got one of the worst senators, a person who pretends to be a reasonable moderate. They always do that. But then she gets to Washington, she doesn't support Nevada values. You know who will support Nevada values is the great Sam Brown. Sam, thank you for everything you're doing, man. We are thrilled to be joined by Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony. Lieutenant Governor, thank you, man, for being here. Thank you for your leadership. We have got one of my dear friends, the great Senator Mike Lee from Utah. Mike, good to see you, man. It's been a few months. And then, of course, we've got the whole crew here. Steve Daines. Steve, great to see you, man. Wow. And Steve's lovely wife is even here in Nevada. Sam, you got the all-star crew here. And you guys are also one last person I want to thank for being here and for all of his great leadership. You guys are blessed to have a great state GOP chairman in Michael McDonald. Michael, please say hello to people. Thank you, man, for everything that you're doing. Now, I got to tell you, I look every single day. I check with the political team at the Trump campaign, and I say, how we doing? And every single day, we just get a little bit closer and closer, and I can hear it in the voice. They're saying, my friends in the state of Nevada, we are doing pretty damn well in the Trump campaign. You guys are doing a great job. You're doing a great job. So, in each state I got to check, because, of course I'm spending, we're going to multiple states a day at this point in the campaign, but now, with early voting in Nevada, it is over. So we just got to make sure, if you haven't voted yet, get your absentee ballots in if they're still outstanding, or go on November the 5th and vote for Donald J. Trump to take this country back and give the American people peace and prosperity again. Now, I want to ask here, who's already voted? It's pretty good. And who's going to vote on Election Day? Also pretty good. Well, I want to make a request to all of you who haven't voted, and actually even those of you who have. I want you to get out there and I want you to vote 10 times for Donald J. Trump. Now, I was told we have 47 reporters back there, and they're all ready to write a story that J.D. Vance comes to Las Vegas and encourages voter fraud. Here's the way we're going to vote legally 10 times. I want you to get yourself to the polls. I want you to take 9 of your friends and family so that we can take this country back. That's how we vote legally 10 times. But remember, the state of Nevada was decided last time by 34,000 votes. That is a very small number of votes. So every single thing that we can do in this final stretch is going to make sure that we give the American people the leadership that they deserve. Think about this. We all of us who care about politics, it's easy to get caught up in red team versus blue team,
Republicans versus Democrats, and of course we're thrilled to have a number of Republicans, independents, and Democrats who are on the Trump team because we want common sense back in government. I'm sure we got a lot of Democrats and independents just in this room. Thank you. But we've got to give the American people the leadership they deserve. Think about this. Our fellow citizens are struggling right now. Our fellow citizens can't afford to buy groceries because Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote on trillions of dollars in new spending, helped by Jackie Rosen. Our fellow citizens can't afford to buy housing, especially our young people can't afford the American dream of home ownership, even in the great state of Nevada, because interest rates are too high, we're not building enough houses, and importantly, thanks to Kamala Harris's open border, we've got American homes that are going to illegal aliens. Well, Donald Trump thinks those American homes ought to go to American citizens, and that's how we make the American dream of home ownership affordable again. We've got our fellow citizens. I mean, I talk to people every single day who are struggling with addiction, who know somebody that's struggling with addiction, who lost somebody because their teenager went to a party and, did something that a lot of teenagers do, right? They succumb to peer pressure. But 20 years ago, succumbing to peer pressure would lead to a headache or maybe a lecture from your parents. Now, thanks to that open border and the fentanyl brought in by those Mexican drug cartels, a lot of kids are making innocent teenage mistakes and they're paying for it with their life. And I promise you that in 3 short days, we're gonna make war on the Mexican drug cartels. No more of this poison, no more of this crap coming into our country. Now, I gotta say, let's a couple moments of bipartisanship here. You maybe didn't expect me to come to Las Vegas and be so kind to the Democrats, but I want you, if you're a praying person, and I know a lot of you are, I want you to spare a prayer for Governor Tim Walz, my Democratic colleague, who, think about this. Tim has got the toughest job in American politics, my friends. He's got to go around and pretend that Kamala Harris is fit to be the President of the United States. When you're having a tough job, when you're having a tough day at work, when you're working late hours, when you're working a little too much overtime, just remember, at least you don't have to do what Tim Walz has to do, which is go around and try to persuade the American people that Kamala Harris is somehow fit to be the President of the United States. That's tough work. That's very tough work. Because think about this. We all know Kamala Harris, she cast the tie-breaking vote on trillions of dollars in new spending. She came into office bragging about undoing Donald Trump's successful border policies. Steve Daines and Mike Lee were there to see it. They said they were going to open the border. They opened the border, and now Nevada families are struggling with the consequences. Kamala Harris came into office saying that she was going to undo Donald Trump's successful economic policies. And now we've got our fellow citizens who can't afford to buy groceries, can't afford their car payments. Credit card delinquencies are at 9% in the United States of America. Think about that. That means 1 in 10 of our fellow citizens can't pay their bills right now because Kamala Harris refuses to do her job. So again, when Tim Walz goes around the country and says that Kamala Harris is going to fix it, remember, Kamala Harris broke it, and Donald J. Trump is going to be the guy who fixes it. Kamala Harris has the audacity to stand up before the American people and say, on day one, we're going to make life more affordable. Or she'll say, on day one, we're going to get serious about border security. Kamala, day one was 1,400 days ago. What the hell have you been doing the whole time? Stop talking about doing your job and actually go and do it. Guys, I've never seen anything like this. In American politics, you've got a candidate who is the sitting vice president and has been for 1,400 days, who for years bragged about having an important role in all of the policies that the American people are frustrated by, and now you would think that she doesn't even know who Joe Biden is. Kamala Harris is the one person, she's the sitting vice president, and she acts like Joe Biden is nowhere to be seen. She doesn't want to talk to Joe Biden. She doesn't want anything to do with Joe Biden, even though she bragged about the Biden-Harris policies for 4 years. How can we possibly expect Kamala Harris to fix what she herself broke? How can we believe her slogans and her campaign plans when the actual record of Kamala Harris's governance is an economy where most Americans can't afford the basic necessities of life? And you know, my running mate, he got famous in some ways by uttering this line, but I think that in 3 days, the American people, the people of Nevada, are going to say to Kamala Harris, you are fired. Go back to San Francisco where you belong. We don't need you in the Oval Office. Now, again, I think it's important. I think, again, here I am. I'm going to be bipartisan again because I'll say one good thing that Kamala Harris does, my friends. I think every time that she does an interview, she gains us about 50,000 or 100,000 votes. So I will say that for Kamala Harris. Now, you will never hear me. You will never hear me complain about this job. It is other than being married to that beautiful lady who walked me on the stage, Usha, I love you, honey. It's so good to have you. Other than being her husband, the honor of my life is to get to stand up here and ask all of you to make me the next Vice President of the United States. What an incredible testament it is to this country that I get to do this. So you will never hear me complain about this job, save this one time, because here's the sacrifice that I make for all of you. I watch Kamala Harris do interviews on The View so that you don't have to. That is, look, it's a life of public service, my friends. I asked for it. But here's what she said on The View just a couple of weeks ago. And remember, she's trying to run as far away from Joe Biden's record as possible. She's trying to pretend that she has no responsibility for the last 4 years, even though she's the sitting vice president. But when she doesn't have a teleprompter in front of her and she gets a softball question, what would you have done differently over the last 4 years? Kamala Harris says, nothing comes to mind. An important moment of honesty. Nothing comes to mind. Now, I will say, I think that could be the slogan of the Harris-Walz campaign. Nothing comes to mind. Think about it. It'd be a hell of a lot more honest. What would you have done differently over the last 4 years? Nothing comes to mind. What would you do to fix the border, Kamala Harris? Well, nothing comes to mind. What ideas do you have for lowering the cost of groceries and housing for American citizens? Nothing comes to mind. It actually is the one moment of honesty you've seen from Kamala Harris in this entire campaign, and it revealed that Kamala Harris is the candidate of more of the same. More broken dreams, more open borders, more Americans who can't afford the cost of groceries, and I happen to think, my friends, that we are ready to deliver change to the American people. Common sense economic policies, prosperity for our citizens. We're ready to make Donald J. Trump the President of the United States, and we're going to do it together. I see a few very beautiful kids in the audience, and I'm thrilled you guys brought them. But, you know, if I was the Democrats, I'd ask you guys to go register them to vote. But I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. Only legal votes here in the state of Nevada. That's what we want. But I want to bring up a friend of mine, and then I'll say a few more words after he comes off the stage. But, you know, one of my dear friends in American politics, and one of the people who knows as much about the sacrifice of Donald J. Trump as anybody is, of course, his family, right? Because it's not just President Trump that sacrificed, it's also the family. And of course, I've become dear friends with the president, and I'll tell you a little story. When he was, well, it's ridiculous to say, the second assassination attempt, not the first, and it's a shame, of course, that we've had any, but we've had two since the start of this campaign. I was sitting at home with my son in Cincinnati, and I get a call from the president. It's, of course, before the news becomes public, and he says, JD, they tried to do it again. I said, they tried to do what? he said, they tried to shoot me again. And he told me what had happened. I'm like, oh my God, sir, are you okay? You know, of course, physically you're okay, or you wouldn't be calling me, but that's a pretty traumatic thing. And he says, yeah, I'm fine. I'm kind of pissed off, though, because I was about to make a birdie on the 6th hole, and they wouldn't let me finish. And I had sort of a realization in that moment that, you know, look, you don't have to agree with everything that I say. You don't have to agree with everything that Donald Trump says. But really the option here is between a president who has shown courage under fire. Like, what you want in the Oval Office is a guy who can take a traumatic moment like an assassination attempt with defiance and good humor, and that's what we have in Donald J. Trump. You don't want somebody who's running away from the American media. You want somebody who has courage under fire, and that's our guy. But another guy who's shown some courage in some very tough circumstances is, of course, his family, and in particular, his eldest son. My friends, give a warm welcome to Donald J. Trump Jr., who's going to say a few words.
Hello, Nevada. How's everyone doing? How great is this guy? Well, JD, I want to thank you for the kind words, but, you know, candidly, having done this now for a while, it's not a sacrifice, it's an absolute honor. It's an honor to fight for you guys. You know, we've seen what they've tried to do to my family and me, and I understand that I am not the upstanding citizen that Hunter Biden is. I know. Now, I have a feeling if that was my laptop, it would be a little bit of a different outcome. JD would say, Don, can you call in from Guantanamo Bay? Maybe give a little pep talk. Guys, this is where we are as a country. We have an incredible opportunity to take back what is ours, to take it from the bureaucrats, to take it from these insane people. JD is right. Kamala Harris isn't going to be the candidate of change that the media keeps telling you she is, because if she would have been, she would have probably done something by now. Like, it's not that hard. You're the vice president to the most absentee president in the history of America. Someone who's spent 41% of his presidency on the beach in Delaware. Raise your hand here if you could maintain employment if you were gone 41% of the time. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, that wouldn't work at the Trump organization with my father either. That'd be, I'd get the Cobra, you know, you're fired really quickly. But that's the case. And that's before you actually get into sort of the mental deficits. So you'd think that would be an incredible opportunity to do something. Then you become the nominee in what we were told is the most democratic process in the history of democracy that actually didn't involve a single vote cast. Others call that a coup. But either way, you're now the nominee. All these things that you're going to do differently, why not do them now? Why not start? Why wait till day one? Remember day one? I'm like, well, you have the power to do it. Now you have the authority. It's because there's no intention of doing anything differently. Rather than cater to Americans, rather than do what's good for you, any community in America, the Democrat Party said, you know what? It's not going to be good because it goes against our woke nonsense and all of the policies we've been pushing. So what we will do is we will open up the border and we'll let in tens of millions of people, unvetted, unqualified, and we will just make them dependents. If they're dependent, they will vote for Democrats in perpetuity, and congratulations, folks. You have the privilege of paying for all of that. You do? Doesn't have to be that way. We can vote that out. And you know how I know how bad it is? Besides the jobs report that came out yesterday where they added 12,000 new jobs. And by the way, all of those were government jobs because they got to pad the file a little bit because it was a disaster. I'm sure it'll be revised even worse when they do their usual revision thing like they've done with every economic statistic, every crime stat. You look at the border, 600,000 criminals let in. That's Biden-Harris administration statistics. 600,000 criminals. They know about it and they let them in. 13,000 murderers. 16,000 sex offenders, and rapists. Imagine a government that sees that. You have them at the border. You understand this because you obviously know it's their statistics. And you say, you know what? Let's let them in anyway. What could go wrong? Divide that up by the amount of communities, say counties, in America. What is it? It's dozens of murderers, rapists, and thousands of criminals spread evenly across America. They're usually probably sending them to red states. What could possibly be the gain of this? It's insanity, guys. It doesn't have to be this way, but one guy can't do it by himself. My father, not even with JD's help, can do it. You saw, he was president of the United States. They canceled him. They canceled the most powerful man in the world. They cut off his communications. They minced his words. You know, like everything else, they take the first part of a sentence, but not the last part, to conveniently drive their narrative. But with all of you behind him, with all of you fighting for your future, for your livelihoods, for your children's well-being, we can win and we can fix everything. And now what's incredible, it's not just my father. Think of the people who have joined up that want to help. Whether it's RFK Jr. on health. Looks like Ron Paul jumped in yesterday with the libertarians. How about we allow Elon Musk, the Einstein of our era, to do what he can do better than anyone? Think about it. In a few years, he's outperforming NASA, that has like a 75-year head start in the space race, and he's doing it as a private citizen. How about we let that guy fix some things? So, you can choose, folks. You can have all of the people that have recently endorsed Kamala Harris. Funnily enough, it happened magically after Diddy got arrested, and they all seem to have a connection. I don't know. It seems like a coincidence. Or you can have a team of brilliant people who are specialists actually fixing things. It's funny, I tell this story a lot because it resonates, because I'm not one of these liberals that pretends to be something they're not. I'm pretty honest about who I am. I'm pretty self-aware. I'm the son of a billionaire from Manhattan. Last summer, I was coming back with two of my boys. We went on a father-son fishing trip. And I had a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, and me, and they were hungry. So we went to McDonald's, where my father is now a fry cook. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't want to get canceled and fact checked. The media told me it was staged. I was like, no way, really? I mean, in Joe Biden's economy, my father does have to work at McDonald's and be a garbage man just to get by. Donald Trump has to work 3 jobs. But I knew we were in trouble beyond all of the other statistics, all of the other metrics would show it, when I ordered McDonald's for me and 2 young children, and it was $48. Because I can tell you something, guys. If Donald Trump Jr. has sticker shock at McDonald's, we have a serious problem. So again, guys, for the next couple days, early voting's closed here, but you need to call your friends. You need to drive them to the polls on Tuesday. If you've voted already, you have all the time in the world. Whatever you would do if you woke up on November 6th and Kamala Harris was president-elect, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whatever you would do to get a mulligan, whatever you would do to get a do-over, do it now. Do it for the next 4 days. You gotta work like you're the third monkey in line for the ark and it's starting to rain. Right? Guys, we can fix this. We have an incredible team of people. I want to thank JD for all of the incredible work that he's doing. I want to thank Usha for putting up with it. I know, trust me, I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but he's a fighter. And more importantly, what we also have in JD is we now have America First bench. we have people that can now carry that torch, people who have become and come out and been unafraid to stand up to the tyranny of our government and to fight for all of you. So guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for what you're going to do over the next couple days, for all of the efforts that you put in. I can assure you this, if you're fighting alongside of us, we will never, ever, ever give up. We will always have that same resolve that my father showed on July 13th when they tried to kill him. So you guys, do your part, and we're gonna make America great again. Thank you so much, Nevada. You guys are the best.
All right. Well, thank you, Don. And let me just pick up where Don left off here, because he talked about this abysmal jobs report that just came out yesterday, I believe. And you heard Don put the nail on the head here, which is that 12,000 jobs were created last month, and all of them were in the government sector. We actually lost last month 28,000 private sector jobs. We lost 46,000 manufacturing jobs in the United States of America, and we know that so many of those manufacturing jobs are the foundation of the middle class in the United States of America. They're also the foundation of American self-reliance. Donald J. Trump believes that in America, we ought to make more of our own stuff with our own people in our own country instead of relying on foreign countries to make our stuff. It's common sense. And you know, one of the biggest drivers and the biggest drivers of Kamala Harris's failure and the biggest contrast between her and Donald J. Trump is that for the last 4 years, Kamala Harris has waged war on the American energy sector. She's made it harder to drill, made it harder to frack, made it harder to build pipeline to get oil and gas from one place to the next. And when Donald J. Trump is president, it's very simple. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. That is gonna do. That's going to do more to lower energy costs, but it's also going to do more to lower costs on everything. You know, when Kamala Harris, they ask her this question, they say, well, you know, what are you going to do about lowering the price of groceries and gasoline, lowering the price of housing? And she'll say, well, I grew up in a middle-class family. Or to Don's point, she'll say, you know, when I worked at McDonald's, I made the hash browns, and I was very, very good at it. And anybody with an ounce of common sense is saying you didn't answer the question. What specifically are you going to do? And importantly, what are you going to change about what you've already been doing for the past 4 years, which has driven up the cost of goods? Think about this. If the truck driver who's delivering the groceries to the grocery store is paying 45% more for diesel, all of us are paying more for our groceries. If the guy delivering the lumber to the job site is paying 40% more for gasoline, then all of us are paying more for housing. If we want to unleash the American economy, if we want to lower prices for our fellow citizens and create more private sector jobs, we have got to stop buying oil and gas from tin pot dictators all over the world. Let's buy it from our own people, our own territory, and our own country. And there's so many contrasts, so many differences where Kamala Harris wants to open the southern border. President Donald Trump is saying, if you came to this country illegally, pack your bags because in 3 months you're going back home. That's a very simple difference. Where Kamala Harris has facilitated the Mexican drug cartels doing business in the state of Nevada and Arizona and all over our country, Donald J. Trump is saying, let's go to war against those drug cartels and stop the flow of poison into our country. Where Kamala Harris is going around bragging that she's going to raise your taxes. Look at the details of her tax plan. Don't trust the slogans. Her tax plan, she is bragging that she's going to raise taxes on American families to the tune of thousands of dollars per year. By the way, while she's rewarding foreign countries and foreign corporations for shipping American jobs overseas. You know what Donald J. Trump wants to do? He wants to cut your taxes and penalize the corporations and the countries that are shipping American jobs overseas. It's very simple. But the biggest contrast of all is not over public policy, it's over respect. Because while, yes, Donald Trump and I have been criticizing Kamala Harris and her terrible economic record, what we would never do is attack the citizens of this country for disagreeing with us politically. And that's something that I think every person in this room, I'd ask you to follow the leadership of President Trump. Don't follow the example of Kamala Harris, because every single person, I guarantee in this room, knows somebody who is planning to vote the wrong way in 3 days. And by the way, spend the next 3 days trying to convince them to vote the right way. But don't do what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and Joe Biden and the Democratic leadership have done. Don't cast aside friends and family because they disagree with our politics. Donald J. Trump is the president of prosperity for all of us, whatever our political affiliation, because we love this country, and that means loving the people who live here. Yeah, the events that we did yesterday, I guess this room's too full, but the events that we did yesterday, we had to the side or behind me, we had a giant garbage truck to draw attention to the fact that Kamala Harris's boss is calling her fellow citizens garbage. Instead of trying to persuade them, instead of trying to convince them that Kamala Harris has a plan for their future, they are attacking the people of this country for having the audacity to think that Kamala Harris has done a bad job. So in many ways, the most fundamental difference is not between any particular policy, though there are a lot of differences. The fundamental difference is that Kamala Harris and her Democratic Party bosses call us garbage. Donald J. Trump wants all of us to have a better life, and we're going to fight for that every single day. You know, it's so interesting in these closing stretches of the campaign. I think you see the difference between the leadership styles and the character of our guy versus Kamala Harris. And you look at what Kamala Harris is talking about. She's running her entire campaign on, well, you can't trust this thing that Donald J. Trump says, even though Donald J. Trump actually delivered it during his 4 years in office. She's spending her campaign lying about what Donald Trump has said, what Donald Trump has done, taking it out of context, and attacking her fellow citizens as garbage. This is not the way to close a campaign if you love this country. Think about this. Why isn't Kamala Harris saying, here's what I did to lower your grocery prices? Because she can't say that. Why isn't Kamala Harris saying, here's what I did as vice president to close down the southern border? Because she can't say that. Why isn't Kamala Harris bragging about what she has done to make your life better? The simple answer, she can't brag about it because she hasn't done it. Because the very policies that have made your life worse are policies that she bragged about and supported for 4 years. And now, 3 days before an election, she's trying to pretend that she's somehow different or will be different than she has been for the last 4 years. We need to reject that lie, reject that kind of dishonesty, and remind our fellow citizens that Kamala Harris has failed, Kamala Harris broke it, and Donald J. Trump will fix it. We need to remind our fellow citizens that the contrast between Donald J. Trump and Kamala Harris is not just in what they've said or what they propose to do. The difference is in what they have actually done in government. For the first time in the lifetime of every person in this country, we're not just talking about proposals and plans, things on a website. We're talking about what they actually did in government. And I think it's useful to contrast the America of Donald J. Trump and the America of Kamala Harris. In Kamala Harris's America, we have the highest inflation in 40 years. In Donald J. Trump's America, inflation was at 1.5%, and Americans could afford to live a good life. In Kamala Harris's America, wages are stagnating and the economy is shedding jobs. In Donald J. Trump's America, we were adding jobs and wages were rising as fast as they had in 40 years. In the United States of America. In Kamala Harris's America, the border is open and our communities have been flooded with fentanyl. In Donald Trump's America, the border was closed and our neighborhoods were safe and secure. In Kamala Harris's America, she tries to censor her fellow citizens or call them garbage for having the audacity to notice that she did a terrible job. In Donald J. Trump's America, we are going to fight for every American citizen, whatever your background or whoever you voted for. In Kamala Harris's America, she'll wag her finger at you and complain for you laughing at a joke. And in Donald J. Trump's America, we have a pretty good time because we love this country and you can have a good time. So the question before us is not whether you agree with me on every issue. It's not whether you agree with Donald J. Trump on every issue. The question is whether you want peace and prosperity for your fellow citizens, or whether we want to double down on the failed leadership of Kamala Harris. The question is whether we believe that we actually had peace and prosperity when Donald J. Trump was president, and we did. Or do you believe that somehow Kamala Harris is going to do something radically different over the next 4 years than she did over the first 4 years? The answer is no. We know the answer to that question. So let me leave you with this last thought, because again, I think it's so easy to get caught in the red team versus blue team. But remember, we've got a lot of good Democrats and independents who are on our side, who are fighting alongside of us every single day. We've got Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard, as Don mentioned. We've got Brian Kemp and Nikki Haley. But the point here is not just to beat the Democrats, as fun as it will be. Trust me, I'm going to enjoy beating Kamala Harris more than any person in this room come November the 5th. It's going to be fun. But I want you to remember the stakes and remember what we're fighting for. It's not just to win an election, it's to give the American people better leadership. You know, when I think about the future, I of course can't help but think about it through the eyes of my 7-year-old, my 4-year-old, and my 2-year-old. And I talk to all these parents who have lost a kid because their kid took something that was laced with fentanyl and they never got a chance to lecture their kid or to ground their kid. That simple teenage mistake took their child from them. I want my kids to grow up in a country where it's safe enough for them to make mistakes and learn from it rather than that mistake become a death sentence. I talked to a woman who told me that for 40 years in good times and bad, she and her husband had done steak night on a Friday night, but they stopped doing steak night last year because under Kamala Harris's policies, groceries became simply too unaffordable. I want us to fight for every citizen who works hard and plays by the rules to be able to afford a nice steak at the end of the week because we have prosperity for all of our citizens and everybody who lives here. I want to be able to look our proud veterans and active service members in the eye and tell them that when we send them to some foreign country, we do it for the defense of the United States of America and not to be the policeman of the world. I want the young people who tell me they're worried about being able to afford a house or being able to afford a family to be able to buy that beautiful home, to be able to start a family, because in the United States of America, if we're not fighting for our families and for the next generation, then we are failing, and that is what Kamala Harris has done. I want a better life for our fellow citizens. I want prosperity. I want security. I want peace. And the unfortunate truth is that the American people deserve to have a better life. They deserve to have better leadership than what they're getting today. And the only way to change that is in 3 days to vote for Donald J. Trump as the President of the United States. God bless you, Nevada. Let's get it done. Thank you.
Hello, Detroit auto worker, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. Hello, Pittsburgh steel mill worker, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. This is for the one who swings the hammer, driving home the nail. For the one behind the counter, ringing up the sales. For the one who fights the fire
tale for everyone who works behind the scenes. You can see them every morning in the factories and the fields, in the city streets and the quiet country towns.